So very good evening to you all. Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa District Latur is organized World Record Series 2. Today there is 342nd day of the series, and the keynote speaker for today's session is on dais Dr. Manju Maria Solomon ma'am. So first of all, I heartily welcome to you, madam. I welcome the chief organizer of the series, ideal principal of Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa, Dr. M. Ambedkar sir. Also welcome faculty members of my college and all those dear participants. Today's topic for presentation is exploring ancient Indian history through the lens of science. Now this topic is going to present Dr. Manju Maria Solomon ma'am. Presently she is serving as an assistant professor, also chair of the Department of History. She is from Aloysius Autonomous College, Sadar, Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. So with this brief introduction, now I request you, madam, please start your presentation on the topic exploring ancient Indian history through the lens of science. You are most welcome.
Thank you so much, Prashant sir. And good evening, one and all present in this world record series. And I am very happy to give this presentation. And first of all, I would like to say a big thank you to Dr. Bedkar for giving me this opportunity to share my views on this topic. Now I'm going to present my presentation. Just a minute. Entire screen. Yes, sir. Just 2 minutes. Why this is just 2 minutes? Entire screen. My presentation is visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Where? Hide. Okay. Now visible, sir? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Please.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Petker, sir, and entire your team. So my topic is exploring ancient Indian history through the lens of science. So here is the plan of my presentation. Why is it that we will discuss about some questions? Why is that the Indus Valley civilization was so far ahead of Europe, and how science and technology sustained Harappan civilization, and that improvements in the technology of iron actually resulted in the spread of the Mauryan Empire in subcontinent, and yes, of course, the technology of zinc, brass, and steel in ancient India. So I would like to start my presentation with a quote of great scientist Albert Einstein. We owe a lot to the Indians who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discovery could have been made. So here is the picture of Varaha Avatar. So here is a छोटी सी एक स्टोरी है कि जब डीमंस एवं देवताओं के बीच में संघर्ष चल रहा था, तो जो डीमंस है, असुर हैं, लोगों ने पृथ्वी को छुपा दिया था। फिर देवता लोग आए लॉर्ड विष्णु के पास और उन्होंने कहा कि आप हमारी सहायता कीजिए। देन लॉर्ड विष्णु ने ये वराह अवतार लिया एंड अपनी उसको तूथनी बोलते हैं हिंदी, उस पर जो पृथ्वी है उसको लाके उनके जगह पर स्थापित किया। नाउ प्लीज चेक द size of earth that is round. So लगभग 10,000 साल पहले ही we Indians knew that पृथ्वी का आकार गोल है। Another जो संस्कृत में एक वर्ड है पृथ्वी के लिए, ज्योग्राफी के लिए, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं भूगोल, यानी पृथ्वी गोल है, अर्थ इज राउंड, ये भी हमारे वेदों में लिखा है। अनदर वर्ड फॉर पृथ्वी इज जगत, जिसमें गति है। तो पृथ्वी जो स्थिर नहीं है, पृथ्वी मूवेबल है। सो ये हमारे ग्रंथों में जो साइंस लगभग 8-9 हजार साल पहले से ही जो साइंटिफिक नॉलेज और बहुत सा नॉलेज मैं आगे चल के बताऊंगी हम इंडियंस के पास था, जिसे जब अंग्रेज ब्रिटिशर्स भारत आए तो उन्होंने इससे सिस्टमेटिकली डिस्ट्रॉय किया और फिर हमें ही अपने बारे में एक हीन भावना से जब वो गए तो भर के गए। ओके, द नेक्स्ट वन इज okay, the topic which I have chosen to speak today seeks to bridge to some extent the ever increasing gulf between the social sciences and the physical sciences. So we were made to think of history as an exercise in remembering the deeds of kings, emperors, leaders, and challenges, and it appeared more concerned about dates of war and peace and of major events and who won or who lost. So this traditional approach to history therefore hardly go beyond this and rarely ever explain how scientific and technological breakthroughs and advancement impacted society. So we come to know only bits and pieces of how science has impacted history, like how the invention of the steam engine spurred the Industrial Revolution in Europe. But how many know, for instance, that improvements in the technology of iron actually resulted in the spread of the Mauryan Empire? So as there are many phases of Indian history, but I will restrict myself to three or four early stages of historical development in India, namely the Harappan civilization, or you can say the Indus Valley civilization, the Vedic period, and the Mauryan period. And I would like to say some two important ancient scientists. Okay, so the next one is it's visible, sir? Slides is visible? Slide is visible? Okay. So here is the satellite and political map locating important sites which were excavated. So of Indus Valley civilization, this is the Harappa, Mehrgarh, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal specifically. Okay, so I would like to say here the four major ancient civilization of the world. The first one is Mesopotamian civilization, and second one is Egyptian civilization. Third one is Indus Valley civilization, and the fourth one after Indus Valley civilization, लगभग 700 and 800 years बाद चाइनीज रेवोल्यूशन का पता चला है। ये सब रिवर सिविलाइजेशन कहलाते हैं, क्योंकि सारे सिविलाइजेशन जो नदियों के बैंक्स के पास ही मिले हैं। जैसे इजिप्शियन जो है नाइल रिवर के पास है, जो इंडस रिवर अपन लोग उसको बोलते हैं, और इसका कुछ अलग नाम भी था, सरस्वती घग्गर भी बोलते हैं इसको, सरस्वती रिवर जो अभी नहीं दिखती हमें, एंड चाइनीज का हुआंगो जो रिवर है उसके पास। नाउ the Harappan civilization is commonly dated to have commenced around 3300 BC and continued until approximately 1300 BC. So I'd like to highlight a significant shift in our understanding of Indian history that occurred around 1960. मैं बात कर रही हूँ 1960 की। Prior to this time, it was widely believed that Indian civilization originated with the Aryan invasion during the second millennium BC. क्योंकि इसके पहले तक 1920 में मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूँ, जब लाहौर टू मुल्तान रेलवे लाइन डाल रही थी ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट 1920 में, एक्सकावेशन हुआ 1920 में, बट 1857 में जब रेलवे लाइन डल रही थी, स्पेशली इन पाकिस्तान, जो अब पाकिस्तान है, पहले वो इंडिया ही था, लाहौर टू पेशावर मुल्तान यहाँ सब, तो बेक्ड ब्रिक्स मिली, और उन बेक्ड ब्रिक्स खुदाई में, रेलवे लाइन की खुदाई में बेक्ड ब्रिक्स मिली, और वो निकलती ही जा रही थी। उसके बाद लोगों ने उसको निकाल के अपने घरों में भी लगाना शुरू कर दिया, और फिर आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया ने जब इन क्षेत्रों में खुदाई करवाई, एक्सकावेशन हुआ 1920 में, मिस्टर R.D. बनर्जी के अध्यक्षता में, राखाल दास बनर्जी, देन अगेन 1921 में, और फिर अगेन 1925-26 में। तब लोगों को पता चला कि भारतीय जो इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन है वो कितनी पुरानी है, लगभग आज से लगभग 8000 years old। बट जब लेटर 1956 तक ये भारतीय इंडियन जो करिकुलम है, सिलेबस है, उसमें नहीं इसको जगह मिली थी सोशल साइंस में। So again, I would like to say here कि क्या changes थे? As I stated, students who studied Indian history even the late 1950s were not taught about the Harappan civilization. Though Harappa was first sighted in the middle of the 19th century, early excavation began much later in 1921. Now, the returning to the significance of Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization, the three civilizations that are referred, which I already explained you, to as the Copper Age or Chalcolithic ones, जिसे हम हिंदी में ताम्रयुगीन सभ्यता कहते हैं. We see how the use of copper had distinguished them from the rest of the humanity in other parts of the world. Now here is the question. Why is it that Indus Valley was so far ahead of Europe? जब हमारे देश में हाईली डेवलप्ड अर्बन सिविलाइजेशन थी, तब यूरोप के लोग, हम कह सकते हैं कि वो जंगल में विदाउट स्किन और विदाउट क्लोथ्स वो जंगल में नाच रहे थे, या हम कह सकते हैं कि वो डियर का बो एंड एरो के साथ जो है हंटिंग कर रहे थे. बट in India, highly sophisticated, advanced अर्बन सिविलाइजेशन थी, जो कि बेसिकली साइंस पर आधारित थी, जिसे मैं आगे बताना चाह रही हूँ. ओके, नाउ सो एक्यूरेट मेजरमेंट. Archaeologists have found a series of weights in bundles, not just in one place, but in all the Harappan cities. These weights also had a very perfect similarity between each unit, which indicates a rare degree of perfection in applied metrology. Now, the first and accurate measurement scale in the whole world, Indians, has been found in Lothal of Harappan civilization. They were the first in the world in developing a system of uniform weights and measures. Their measures were extremely precise. So without mathematics, ये नहीं हो सकता. Again, मेहगर से ही जो है ये जो excavation जो है शुरू होती है, कहानी जो शुरू होती है, और हाई लेवल ऑफ साइंटिफिक एडवांसमेंट था. यहाँ पर मैं एक और एग्जाम्पल देना चाहती हूँ, where we note how surprised scientists were to discover evidence of advanced dentistry in the form of 11 drilled molar crowns in 9 skeletons that were as old as 8,000 years. That means we can say the first dental surgeries being conducted 8,000 years ago in India. How science and technology sustained in Harappan civilization. Okay, so this civilization, IVS, that means Indus Valley civilization, was the largest civilization in the world. Because इसका जो spread area था, जो मैंने आपको already map में बताया, 12.6 lakhs. और यदि हम आज के भारत का एरिया की बात करते हैं, तो 3.2 लाख वर्ग किलोमीटर स्क्वायर फीट जो है हमारा है. दैट मीन्स 1/3 पर ये हमारा देश था. एंड अगेन वन मोर इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग, उस समय लगभग इसकी पॉपुलेशन जो थी वो 50 lakhs पॉपुलेशन थी. अगेन वेरी हाई पॉपुलेशन. अब मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूं कि यहाँ पर आई वुड लाइक टू से any major civilization cannot be survived without mathematics. So यहाँ के जो नगर बने हुए थे, जो टाउन बने हुए थे, remarkable for their urban planning, baked brick houses, elaborate drainage system. अब drainage system के बारे में आपको मैं आगे बताऊंगी. Water supply system, and all of which point to the commendable advancement made in so many sciences. वहां पर डबल स्टोरी, ट्रिपल स्टोरी हाउसेस मिले, विदाउट एनी सरिया, विदाउट एनी यूज ऑफ आयरन. कैसे वो लोड्स ले लेती थी बिल्डिंग्स. सो बेक्ड जो ब्रिक्स थे उनके साइजेस अलग थे. 7:14:28 रेशो का भी ब्रिक्स मिला है. 10:20 के भी ब्रिक्स मिले हैं. तो ये अलग अलग बिल्डिंग्स के लिए अलग अलग ब्रिक के साइज वाले घर में. एंड द हाउसेस हैड मेनी रूम्स, 1 rooms, 2 rooms नहीं, 3 rooms. Many of brick houses were 2-story high and with thick walls and high ceilings to keep the room cool in hot summer months. So उनकी जो apart from this, I would like to say here, मोहनजोदारो जो सिटी सबसे बड़ा मिला है, उसमें 9 layer excavated है. That means जो अर्बन प्लानिंग होती थी उसमें स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन ग्रिड सिस्टम था. और चूंकि वह रिवर के किनारे थे, उन्हें ये पता था कि फ्लड आ सकता है और फ्लड से पूरी सिटी स्पॉइल हो सकती है, तो ग्रिड सिस्टम था. और यदि एक बार सिटी स्पॉइल हो गई, उसके बाद अगेन उसी ग्रिड पर पूरा सिटी बसा जाता. व्हाट अ साइंटिफिक टेक्नोलॉजी दे हैव. एंड नाउ द अदर पार्ट इज ड्रेनेज सिस्टम. इतने क्लीनलीनेस की बात वर्ल्ड में उस समय कही नहीं थी. आज हमारे भारतीय प्राइम मिनिस्टर को स्वच्छता अभियान चलाना पड़ता है. पता नहीं इंडियन मेंटालिटी कहाँ चली गई है. एंड सो जो ड्रेनेज थी बहुत ही चौड़ी, कवर्ड एंड लंबी, और जो पानी था वो सिटी के बाहर जाके गिरता था. And sophisticated drainage system. You can see the pic of this drainage system here. About 5 meters deep. Drainage system was so big that a human would have been able to walk through the middle of the one. And apart from this drainage system, roads, जो चौड़ी रोड होती थी वो नॉर्थ टू वेस्ट जाती थी, एंड जो थोड़ी छोटी रोड होती थी वो ईस्ट टू वेस्ट जाती थी. एंड एग्जैक्टली वो 90 डिग्री पर एक दूसरे को जो रोड थी वो काटती थी. विदाउट मैथमेटिक्स आज के समय में 90 डिग्री में रोड क्रॉस करना डिफिकल्ट है. ओके, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस आई वुड लाइक टू से हियर कि कितना साइंटिफिक ये सोसाइटी थी. ये एग्जाम IVS था. नाउ द प्लानर्स, वहां पर जो प्लानर्स थे, साइंटिस्ट थे, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, श्योरली मैनेज टू डिवाइस परफेक्ट सिस्टम ऑफ फूड प्रोक्योरमेंट, food management, storage and distribution to survive for 2000 years and more. This is evidence in the grain storage facilities and the plentiful remains of food that have been found in the houses, which indicates that there was no shortage of food or grains. So यहाँ पर आप यदि पिक्स में देख सकते हैं बड़ी बड़ी जो वहां पर ग्रेनरी, जिसे हम लोग वेयरहाउस कहते हैं, वो भी खुदाई में प्राप्त हुई है. अगेन वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, वर्ल्ड्स फर्स्ट होम टॉयलेट, कॉमनली नोन एज द कमोड, जिसको आजकल हम लोग कहते हैं कि वेस्टर्न टॉयलेट सिस्टम, ये वेस्टर्न में नहीं मिला था, ये इंडिया के हड़प्पा में प्राप्त हुआ था. And it was designed to flush out human refuse scientifically by using gradient and gravity. And we wonder what happened to such advanced toilet facilities and habits in later periods of Indian history. Okay, so there were urban settled classes like craftsmen, traders, dealers, priests, intellectuals, administrators, soldiers, sailors, and of course the other thinking class that included scientists and technologists. This class may, okay, so now I would like to give, this is the Harappan civilization was actually among the rare ones in the world where scientific techniques were devised as early as 3000 BC to produce intricate handcrafted carnelian products and seal carvings, in addition to a host of other items of daily use and recreation. So I would like to say that more than 4,000 have been recovered here. So you can see that here is an example of humpback bull, bull, goat, elephant, crocodile, and one mythical animals that is called unicorn, standing in front of an incense burner. Okay. Apart from this, Indus Valley cities improved upon our technology of metallurgy, of Meher, which I already. So here is another important example. This is the dancing girl picture. ये bronze statue है, जो कि मोहनजोदारो में 1926 में मिली. That means they made extensive use of copper, bronze, lead, and tin. Now, technology of zinc, brass, and steel. अब मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूँ कि India held the sole knowledge of how to remove zinc from zinc ore for 4,000 years. And this knowledge we kept secret. But One Chinese fellow stole this knowledge, and after many years, one Britishers stole it from Chinese. Then only 1543, one British man introduced in Europe this technology of zinc. Another important, one of the most curious structure in Delhi, ये दिल्ली में मेहरौली के पास है, iron pillar, dust proof. दिल्ली की इतने प्रदूषण pollution के बाद भी इसमें rust नहीं लगा. ये ancient scientist का best example. Now you can see the second pillar which is situated in Bangalore, Kulur. लगभग 2400 years old, rust proof iron pillar. And what is the important thing about this pillar? This is made by the tribal people. That means not expert. इसको एक्सपर्ट लोगों ने नहीं बनाया. जो कुल्लूर के पास जो पिलर है, दैट मीन्स जो इस पिलर बनाने का आयरन की जो टेक्नोलॉजी थी वो इंडिया में सामान्य लोगों के पास भी थी, और इसका बनाया गया था आदि शंकराचार्य जब वहां पर विजिट करने के लिए गए थे. ओके, नाउ द Mauryan period. Strength of Mauryas lay in iron and coal. As we know, almost all the best coal reserves in India are in the Manubhumi, Singhbhumi, Raniganj areas, and all the steel plants that came up in India initially, except Salem, because Salem is situated in Tamil Nadu south, are in this area. Bokaro, Bhilai, Raurkela, Asansol, Durgapur. Why? Because we have both coal and iron ore in North India. In very simplistic terms, it was the Mauryan control of two critical resources, iron ore and coal, that made it possible for it to forge superior steel weapons and implements with which it demanded the subcontinent. As I would like to say here, the Mauryan Empire is the first politically united dynasty established by the Chandragupta Maurya with the help of his guru Chanakya. And इसका जो spread था, this Mauryan Empire का अफगानिस्तान से लेके दक्षिण भारत तक. Okay, now I would like to say here the next slide. जो जिंक की मैंने अभी आपको टेक्नोलॉजी बताई थी, तो ये प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है चरक संहिता में. We also knew the use of zinc oxide in the medicines, and we come across references to zinc oxide use in those prescribed in the Charak Samhita. So the mastery of zinc was another factor in our favor. Okay, I would like to say here again the steel. This came to be known as Ooty steel of South India, and by the 6th century BC, it exported globally. But the fact that the Tamil Sangam poetry mentioned that the South had knowledge of exceptional steel technology long before the 4th century BC. Dr. Kushambi को मैं यहाँ पे explain करना चाहती हूँ. Why Patliputra? Patliputra was the capital of Mauryan Empire. The modern day Patna could dominate India in the 4th century BC and bring almost all of it under the first pan-Indian empire of Mauryas. Because Dr. Kosambi has explained that the eastward thrust of Indian civilization was successful because it could access the best ores and good quality of coal. So now, apart from this, it is due to the same mastery of over coal and iron that helped Patliputra under the Mauryas to become so strong and unbeatable. But as touch upon a major power required not only the best of resources and scientific achievements, It has also needed organization and leadership. That is, Chandragupta Maurya had the benefit of the intelligence of Chanakya, जिसे हम कौटिल्य भी कहते हैं, who could capitalize on the technology of mining and steel making. Chanakya's Arthashastra laid down the basis of the first great empire in India. Its 12th chapter deals extensively with mines and metrology. So one of the tasks of mines department, which was established by the Chanakya, was to locate new mines with ore-bearing earth, rocks and liquid, which proves beyond doubt that not only had Chanakya exceptional knowledge of mining and metrology, but also that the Mauryan Empire was making good use of science and technology. So this was the reason that Mauryan Empire जो established हुआ था. Now, Varahamir. We all know about the Aryabhatta, who was our ancient scientist. But I would like to say here about Varahamihar, was another well-known scientist of the ancient period India. And he lived in Gupta period. And Varahamihar made great contribution in the fields of hydrology, geology, and ecology. He was one of the first scientists to claim that termites का अर्थ होता है दीमक, जो हम लोग पहले देखते हैं कि वुडन फर्नीचर वगैरह में लगता है, and plants could be indicators of the presence of the underground water. Apart from this, he gave a list of 6 animals and 30 plants, this Varahamihar, a scientist, which could indicate the presence of water, underground water. He gave very important information regarding termites, dimits, insect that destroy wood, which I already explained in Hindi, that they go very deep to the surface of water level to bring water to keep their houses, जिसे bambies कहा जाता है, wet. Varahamihar, another theory which has attracted the world of science is the earthquake, bhukam. Good theory given by the Varahamihar in his Brahad Samhita. The 32nd chapter of this Samhita is devoted to science of earthquake. He has tried to relate earthquakes to the influence of planets, undersea activities, underground water, unusual cloud formation, and abnormal behavior of animals. Another mathematicians, Budhayan. He was the first one ever to arrive at several concepts in mathematics, which were later discovered by the Western world. The value of pi was first calculated by Budhayan. As we all know that pi is the useful in calculating the area and boundary of a circle. So what is known as Pythagoras theorem today is already found in India in Budhayan's Sulva Sutra, which was written several years before the age of Pythagoras. Now, I heard about this Ayurveda in previous webinar. So I would like to say here, the medical science was also highly developed in India. So Ayurveda is the indigenous system of medicine that was developed in ancient India. The word Ayurveda literally means the science of good health and longevity of life. Charak is called the father of Ayurvedic medicine and the Sushruta, the father of surgery. Sushruta was a pioneer in the field of surgery. Sushruta greatest contribution was in the field of rhinoplasty, जिसे आजकल हम plastic surgery कहते हैं. So बहुत से जो hero, heroine and other wealthy people, वो अपने face को सुंदर बनाने के लिए foreign country जाते हैं for this plastic surgery. But in India, उस समय भारत में जो punishment होता था, nose cut, ear cut, तो इसके लिए सुश्रुत जो थे उनकी संहिता में at least 1100 diseases are mentioned, including fever of 26 kinds, jaundice of 8 kinds, and urinary complaints of 20 kinds. Now, I would like to conclude here. The East became, that means ancient time, the center of two of the greatest empire of India, that is Mauryas and the Guptas, because it had excellent copper, iron, and coal. And we need to take a look at history from such point of view. I will refer to statement made by Dr. Koshambi, where he remarked that Magadha's great source of power was not only in its sources, but also in the formation of a state. He called it a state that used metal systematically to clear the land and to bring it under the plough. It was also iron that allowed it to dominate the rest of India. I wish to point out that the way we are taught history in schools and colleges need to be changed to make it more interesting. We need to understand not only what has actually happened, which, of course, has to be factually correct, but what were the reasons that made them happen. Now, in the last, I would like to conclude with Mark Twain quote. I quote Mark Twain. India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great grandmother of tradition. Our most valuable and most instructive materials in the history of man are treasured up in India only. Unquote. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Now, open for the yes. Sunita Pathak, ma'am. Okay.
Hello. Madam, very nice and very interesting subject you have chosen because I too study the science in Adhyatma. I especially prefer Bhagavad Gita or Jnaneshwari for that.
Okay, ma'am.
But you have extended the subject to a lot. Even the Pythagoras and all you have mentioned a lot. I would request you to have some notes or some synopsis for me. Will it be possible?
What, ma'am? Pardon?
You have chosen the subject very nicely. I too study the science in Adhyatma, especially concerned with the Bhagavad Gita
Okay.
or Jnaneshwari. That is a Marathi, Adhyatmic pothi or grantha it is. But you have extended the subject to a large.
It is based on the science and technology in ancient India.
Yeah.
That is not near the Adhyatma.
But
I don't know Marathi, ma'am.
you have mentioned all about the iron and
Yes.
Pythagoras and all, etc.
Yeah,
It is.
we are very far ahead of this Europe.
Yeah, of course.
I would
We
like to
were,
say this.
we were, we
Bharat
were,
Mahan,
and we
yes.
are also. We were and we are also. And
Yes.
one more gift we have got additional, that is Ayurveda and Yoga Sadhana. These are the
Yes.
two benefits for Indians.
Medical science.
Yeah.
Earlier
But
we had
I am requesting you to share some notes or synopsis for me. Will it be possible?
Okay, not at present, ma'am. I'm not.
No, not at present. I don't request.
Later on, I will send you.
So I'll give my phone number, or you can take it from Bedkar sir or Sanand sir or who are the coordinators. Or please, it will help me a lot and it will create more interest for me to study.
Okay, ma'am.
But very nicely explained subject. The interesting subject made it very, very, very interesting.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I'll give you can get my number from Bedkar sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I'll give it to you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello, good evening, Dr. Bedkar sir, Principal sir. Good evening, ma'am. Wonderful presentation, and really you have enlightened us about various aspects, of the history, and we have to learn the history from scientific point of view, and we can come with some research papers also. Definitely, you must have done this. So a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
That we are having a lot many things hidden in earth also.
Yeah.
The civilization has developed and emerged, and they have demolished also by disaster or some wars or something like that.
Yeah.
And the traces of it still, we are searching for. And some of them we are consider them as a monument, and we visit those places. And the museums are wonderful. They give some certain information to us, and the development at the time, and they were much advanced with their time, and that is what we can learn wonderfully. And definitely India is a place, it has given so many things to the world. And yes, definitely the people have modified history to some extent for their point of view or for their benefits, and they have placed in front of. That is very, very correct. But what I feel, the visitors were there. People used to visit that time to learn the different land and different languages, like what we have. Why just we are doing traveling, we are going abroad, and we are learning something over there. So here also, I think number of visitors visited India, and I remember one of the Chinese. I remember my history book, but I could not remember the name of that person. He has about the India and India civilization and the culture and other things. So that is how we can realize, how rich we were right that time in science, in all the ways, even architecture and various ways. And no doubt, they are in other part of the world, like Egypt, we are having pyramids, and still the story is mystery for us. Why these pyramids are there? Some standing stones are there at some place. Why they are there and how they have been placed, and how they must have moved. There were no JCB and no cranes as such, but how they must have worked with this. So it gives some kind of, a hint, what kind of technology they were having. So no doubt they were advanced in their science, technology, culture, and several aspects. That is wonderful. But what I feel, we can collect the information, the pieces of informations are there. It is not the total what we can say information we are getting. So someone can work out with, various aspects. It is like a flower pot is placed in between. And I could just explain that part of flower pot, which is there in front of me. So like this, several persons sitting around that flower pot can take all these subjects together and can be linked and can be, we should get a truth and a reality, right? People are getting Nobel and other things. And somewhere, in our reels and every places, we get the science was known to us much prior. So that is one of the very important aspect we are losing. So can we do, this kind of activity that can get all the historians and all the visitors that time, we can study them and we can place it, and, we will get the right dimension. Otherwise, it is like a story of a jigsaw puzzle, like a elephant. Someone is telling ear, someone is telling tail, and someone is telling about the legs. Okay. So that is what I feel. And what you think about this, please come in. Thank you.
Okay, welcome, sir. Any other question? Welcome. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.